Hello and welcome back to the 90s Mad Podcast, your podcast for all things Newcastle United. Usually hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supportive friends, but you know the magic three ain't here today. It's just a dynamic duo. Myself and AC. Jefferson, obviously, he couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but he'll be back on the next one. So big up to Jefferson. But
salute.
AC, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm not too bad. I think I've just recovered from Saturday's results, so
I ain't, but yeah, okay.
It took you know, that usual 48 hours to recover and that. And oh man, there's a lot to talk about this game, man, because it's that thing where you play at 12:30, then you got to watch everyone else play. You know, just like, oh my god, that result really didn't go well for us at all.
Ruined the weekend, man. Ruined the weekend, but
really ruined the weekend.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? We got over the magic 200 mark on the last pod, so thank you all for that. We keep building, man.
Thank you.
That's it. But yeah, we're here to review the last result. Not smiles this time. We played Bournemouth at St James's Park, like AC said, 12:30, and yeah, finished Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 4. Boy, a lot to dissect from this game.
This is what we're here for, people.
That's it. Back down with a crash, but it is what it is, man. Overall thoughts on the game?
I think to myself that, like I like to do, I always do this. I start with my prediction because I have to put myself in the position of before any ball was kicked. And my prediction was for us to win 3-1. And the reason why I said that was, you know, the 9 wins in a row was something that was behind us. I felt that we had a win behind our sails a bit. But also I knew that Bournemouth had 9 first-team players missing from this squad, number one. They had a lot of injuries and such. And I thought to myself, I looked at them and I was just like, your bench is like full of people I've never even heard of because they're all like 18-year-olds, right? So they still had a few key players. We knew about Clivert, we knew about Semenyo, you know, but also at the same time, they had like midfielder playing right back. And, you know, their team on paper, and as far as I was going to be aware, I thought we could overturn this game. And I thought that we should be in control. But lo and behold, it didn't go that way. As soon as that first whistle went off and it kicked off, and literally within the first 2 minutes, I was just like, okay, I knew Bournemouth were going to come and turn up. I knew they would because they play with a lot of aggression. And that's, you know, people have to understand, and if you've been listening, if you've even just come to like checking out recent games of Bournemouth, they've just got this history at the moment where they are just basically, they're turning up to any team or opposition they face at the moment. They're one of the hardest teams to beat in this league, like hands down. Yeah. They are. But at the same time, I thought, you know, with the waveform and such for them, I thought, you know, maybe we should get something out of this. But just a quick little overview is just that, I don't know, man. It was really weird game. It just looked like we just weren't there at all. It was really weird. It was just like something was completely missing. And I did think to myself when we conceded that first goal, I was like, do you know what? That should be the wake-up call now. Maybe this is now we kick on, because usually it takes that first goal sometimes to be like, oh, okay, we got to fix things up.
Yeah, wake-up call. Yeah.
The wake-up call. And I did feel like there was a little bit of a period where we did look like we started to string something a bit together again, but just tactically, though, I think Bournemouth just come at us, and I think they had a game plan and they played it really well. And I think they were very physical. You know, we can talk about the fouls and such of how many times they fouled us. I think they fouled us like 17 times.
17 times.
17 fouls.
Yeah,
so ridiculous. And also throughout the game, I started realizing that focus on particular players like Bruno, like taking them off the ball and such. But we just wasn't at the races today at all. We wasn't there at all. And it was really disappointing result, really devastating. But what was the worst thing for me, D-Man? The worst thing for me was conceding 2 goals in stoppage time. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Unnecessary.
To me, I don't know. We got a lot to dissect, but big up, is that Kante, I think? Big up Kante in the building.
Yes, Kante.
Big up, man. Big up. good win for you boys at the weekend. But
And
yeah,
Fulham creeping.
yeah, they're creeping on the come up, man. But yeah, to the game itself, like you said, I also predicted a win, but I predicted a tight win, a 3-2 win. But I did mention in my predictive video the main threats of Kluivert and Semenyo, and obviously Kluivert just took libbies with us. But my worry was, I did say on the last pod as well, on the back of the Wolves game, yes, we won the game, but Wolves had a lot of chances. And I said, if we give those chances to Bournemouth, they are going to take them. And credit to them, not only did they take them, they had a plethora of chances. They could have slapped up. Don't go, we had chances as well, but they had about 5 or 6 great chances on top of the 4 that they scored. So it's like, we were well beaten. End of the day, we were well beaten. Bournemouth came to St. James's, no fear, confident. And remember, listen, it's disappointing, but this is a team that hasn't lost in 9 previous games, winning 5 out of the 9 and drawing 4. So going to Chelsea should have won. You know, man. And in the season, they beat Man City, they beat Arsenal as well. So it's like they are a very good team.
They are
regardless of the injuries. I know they had the injuries, but they've had the injuries on some of these runs as well. So it's like they're still playing football, and they've got a very good manager. But we shouldn't be losing 4-1 at home.
No.
But what disappointed me really was the performance of the players, because we know the 12:30 kickoff is a dodgy one. We know that Eddie Howe's never beaten Bournemouth in his tenure at Newcastle. So, and also we're on an unprecedented run. So this could have been one that we've never done before. 9 in a row, we've never done 10. So there was so much going into this game, but bar maybe Sandro Tonali, none of them turned up. None of them. And it's very rare that 10 of your outfield, of your 11 players have a shocker simultaneously on the same day. And this was the day that it happened. Like, I remember playing a 5-a-side game. Like, we had this team quickly back in goals. We had this team called the Southside United, and we were top of the nation, like basically of that time on Thursday night football. We were we start battering teams, and this one time, it was like basically Accrington Stanley beating Man City. Like, this one team of pubman beat us 5-3, and literally because all of us had an off day. And we just couldn't believe it. The whole league couldn't believe it.
Just that one day.
To this day, it still haunts me. But I'm not saying it, obviously, Bournemouth are a good team, but you don't really see all of our players having a bad day at the same time, especially this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really weird, because we even see some of our key players that we've been highlighting every game in the past, like 10 games, like Lewis Hall, for example. He had
a nightmare.
It was just, there were moments where he would just like fall on the floor, and I was just like, what is going on? It literally looked like someone had some like voodoo doll and was just like it
was awful. Like, we couldn't string 2 passes together. Like, we got the warning shot after like 30 seconds, and then we got conceded after a few minutes. Like, we just didn't recover from that. Like, but
that was the shot of the bar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We'll
get into all of that anyway. But Kante spanked by the Cherries. Listen, don't worry about that. Your spanking's coming. Yeah, when you rock up to St. James, this ain't happening. Trust me, this ain't happening.
2 weeks, mate.
Yeah, you're gonna get slapped. But anyway, it is by the way. But but to the lineups though, obviously, we spoke about Bournemouth's injuries and what the players out position, whatnot. With us now, we've gone with the same team, unchanged from the last game. I think maybe some people thought that Botman would have been benched. Fabian Schär would have come back in. I don't know what you thought about that.
It's a difficult one, really, because I do think there's an element of if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing as well. Because we knew the partnership was working. We were praising it. it. So I kind of understand what Eddie Howe kind of did there in a way. It was just a bit like, is it too risky to suddenly just bring Schär in? But at the same time, Schär hasn't come back from an ACL injury. And also we know Botman wasn't playing in his natural position, and that's a thing as well. But I guess one of the things was quite awakening, shall I say, in this game, is when I started realizing that Dan Burn was getting targeted in some places, and I was just like, hold on.
Yeah.
And it started giving me a little bit of a flashback of the past a little bit. It's like reality catching up with us a bit. And this is why this episode is called Cherry Bombs Back to Reality, right? Because it was just like, yeah, we know Dan Burn hasn't got the pace at the back. And we know, face it, Bournemouth are a very athletic team. Every single player in that squad has pace.
Yeah,
every single one of them. So when they all go on a break,
it's
especially
scary
when they
hours.
catch us, you're seeing Dan Burn running back to goal. It's not a good sight. I don't know. And there's debates of either like if Dan Burn should have been pulled at halftime,
Yeah,
and
well,
obviously,
this is it. This is it. This is it. I thought of the two, he was the more shaky one. But the thing is, though, we've gone unchanged, right? And I don't blame him because obviously the run that we've been on, right?
yeah.
But we are probably one of the very few teams who haven't really rotated during this Christmas and New Year period. So it's going to catch up to them eventually. I know we rested in the cup game.
Only the cup game and the FA Cup game, yeah.
Yeah, but the amount of games we've played with the same lineup, it's like he's trying to squeeze every inch of juice out of these players. Now, I get it because usually we have a shoddy Christmas, right? We look knackered by Christmas. But this time we looked energized for most of the games. It's only towards maybe the Wolves game we started look a little bit.
Wolves game we were dropping off a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, we've got a week's rest until the next one. So hopefully that will, reinvigorate them, whatever. But to the game, go on, say.
I'm just gonna say there is another part to this of not utilizing the squad to the full extent. I know we're going to talk about Willock and stuff like that. We can talk about these various things because, to be honest, I'm just talking about just general reception sometimes of our fan base. I see people now talking about Willock, like targeting him.
They're on
Willock is not playing well, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, give Willock a run of games, he will start performing for you.
This is it. What's he supposed to do with half an hour every game?
Exactly. Half an hour every game is not going to do anything. But whereas if you give him a run of games, I'm sure that he will start performing. And where he's just been drip fed a little bit, it's almost just like, what can he do with being drip fed and put the pressure onto him in that kind of way?
Yeah.
And also tactically as well, when he came on, I know we get into that, I'm jumping quite a bit ahead, but I still not sure like what he was almost like targeted to do. When he came on, I couldn't see. I don't know if the formation was trying to change or try to adapt something differently because something had to be done. But in my opinion, it was probably too late because when I was watching that game, I was thinking, right, everyone can see what Bournemouth are trying to do.
Yeah.
You have to do something with that midfield. And I felt like we need to have an extra body in there. Potentially as an idea, maybe, I'm just saying this is an idea. I'm not saying this will be the perfect solution, but maybe we should have took off Murphy, put on an extra man in midfield, change the shape a little bit, and just have Isak
do something.
Because if you put extra man in midfield, right, you're suddenly going to start closing a bit of gaps,
stifling them a little bit, isn't
it? Because they were targeting Bruno. Like every time Bruno had the ball, there's two men on him.
Oh, we'll get to him. We'll get to Bruno
because Bruno was taking too many touches as well, which is putting the hell out of me. All of a sudden the gaps were opening up, and Bournemouth always had another man behind, and it was just like running onto it. So it was just a long daily office, man.
Yeah, big up DB NUFC. He's got comment. He said, "Big up, lads. Simple to me. Bournemouth were all over us with the press, and we couldn't handle it. After 25 to 30 minutes, we should have played them at their own game and gone long and stretched the pitch." You know what? And I agree because it was from the minute one. They were on us with the press. They didn't give us a single sniff, any little time on the ball whatsoever, all players. And, we tried to play out the back row, but we're getting caught every time because they were so aggressive and it's athletic, like you said. We couldn't handle it. And I think that's one thing Eddie should have spotted from earlier and made a change. Just before we go into the goals and stuff, with the lineup, another thing which I kind of get where he's coming from is because things have been working so well. You think about it. Obviously, Dubravka's been in the form of his life at the moment. We've talked about the back four, how good they've been. Lewis Hall has been exceptional, and the pairing of Botman and Burns since Botman's come back. Tino's improved. Then there's talk about us having the best midfield in the league currently. So you're not going to change that. And then you look up front, Murphy's in the form of his life. He's the best striker in Europe. And then Gordon's suddenly picked up form. So where does he really change it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can't. It's going to be very easy for people to turn around and go in hindsight and go, should have just swapped the players out, should have put Shah in. But going into that game, everyone would have saw that lineup and been like, yes, this is it. So, I think with the starting lineup, I can't really complain with it. I think it was the best thing that he would have thought what to do, knowing the opposition and knowing our form of run. Once again, 9 wins before us is context. Like we have to remember how we were feeling on that Friday before the Saturday.
Exactly. No one predicted. Everyone knew it was going to be a tricky game, but no one thought we were going to lose, and no one thought we were going to get slapped. But these things happen. But DBNUC, I don't think it's still there, but you should come on the pod at some point, man. We need to get you on the pod. Like, you've got some very good points that you're making.
Definitely.
But to the game itself now, obviously we spoke about from kickoff, they were onto us, right? And they created that opening when they put it over the bar early on. And I thought, right, that should be the wake-up call for us, right? But lo and behold, they go and take the lead, right? Through Justin Kluivert, right? Now, to me, listen, the cutback should have been cut out a lot as well. But Jacob Murphy not tracking Kluivert's run was criminal. Yeah, he just wasn't looking. He wasn't aware, and he just let him roam in. Good finish, decent finish, but very avoidable. Very avoidable. Right?
Oh yeah. Because on any given day, any player who was very fixated and sharp and was tracking their player, Kluivert wouldn't have got that shot off. I fully believe in that, and so it was definitely avoidable. But Murphy, man, even when you watch it in slow motion, it hurts. It's just watching a train crash in slow motion. Nothing you can do. It's going to crash.
Wow. See it coming. But it's a 1-0 down, right? Now, I can't remember if they had many opportunities before we equalized, right? But obviously, Bruno gets the equalizer. Good header, very good header from a Lewis Hall corner.
Great header.
Yeah, so from then, okay, I'm not saying we deserve to get back into the game, but we were there, right? 1-1. So you're thinking, right, that's gonna galvanize them now. They're gonna go for it, right? Did we create much opportunities for the rest of the half? Because I can't really think of many,
Yeah, no, not at all, really. And one of the things that was glaring is that Isak was just getting no service.
He was
zero service. And I did say this on the pod, didn't I? Is that as long as Isak gets service, and I said this because obviously we're talking about can he continue to try break Jamie Vardy's record, and I said as long as he gets service, it can be done.
Yeah.
As soon as the service stops, it's very hard, and you can see that throughout the game, especially that first half. He had to drop deep, collect the ball, and it's just like,
because they squeezed us in. They squeezed us in. As soon as we got the ball at the back, they were onto us. We couldn't put 2 or 3 passes together. We were losing possession. Then they happen. So we're immediately on the back foot. So we're going to try pump it long. They'll eat that up all day, right? It just wasn't working. Like he was basically isolated in that first half, no opportunities, and then you thought, okay, go into the break 1-1, we'll be all right. But they then go ahead before the break. Yeah,
that was the surprise for me because I honestly thought we were going to go into the break 1-1.
Right, but whose fault was this? Because Dan Burn has played a suicide pass to Bruno.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Bruno called for the ball. Bruno's ball, yeah, with a couple of the man on him.
2 man on him.
2 man on him. You've called for the ball, but Burn should know. Look, see the 2 man. No, I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you. Try another option, yeah. And we know Bruno farts around on the ball anyway, right? But he got dispossessed, and it's gone to Kluivert. He slotted it in. Now, was this the one I think that the Bravka should have done better, right? Because this reminded me of the Bravka from last season when literally every shot he's facing, he's conceding because he don't get down quick enough. We don't spot the danger, right? And I see a couple people onto him now saying this is why I hope to come back.
It's funny, right? Because everyone was praising him, and it's almost just like now we're considering these goals. The flash in the pan is real. It's just like because I did say when there was up for debate of like should he go, should he be sold. I think I replied on Twitter to like the post, and I think journalists were saying that like, yeah, such and such is approaching to Bravka, and I was just like, just sell him, because it's an opportunity kind of thing. Just do it. And I know they've had this momentum, but I was just like, we got to just be willing. We got to do things sometimes. We can't be
ruthless. Be ruthless.
We got to be a bit daring. Now we're in a situation where, like, I really hope this doesn't kick on bad form for Dubravka. But if it does, a lot of fans are going to be like, "Oh, we should have sold him in January." But it's just like, at the same time, you were calling him to stay, and I think
make your mind up, innit?
This is where I think Eddie Howe's at fault here because he wanted to keep the team together. I understand that, but at the same time, it's just like, We need to get the sale done. Just get the sale done. We still got Oddie, right?
He just does not trust that brother. He does not trust the brother.
I don't know what's going on with that brother. He's just AWOL. Now and again, I might see him walk on the pitch at end of games and shake hands. And
bro, he couldn't get a start against Bromley. Yeah,
oh man,
that's when you know. That's when you know he don't get no ratings. But
that was a mistake, there, wasn't it? When you look back at it, it's just like should have just started Oddie in that game. Like he didn't need to start the Bravka, and maybe I don't know. Maybe if you saved the Bravka might have been fresher for this game. Might have saved more chances. Who knows? You know,
maybe the Bravka's form was showing chance. Okay, you want to sell me? This is what I've got. Now that we've kept him, he's sitting comfortable now. Saying, "Revert the type, innit? Revert the type." He's relaxed. Yeah, he's relaxed. Gosh. But I see DBNC's left another comment. He said, "I know you man are going to get onto Bruno. Got the goal and quality player, but he needs to release the ball quicker and more time. I've been saying this for months, and this is it. This is it. He holds on to the ball way too long. And what annoys me is that all this press resistant stuff, he always tries to draw the foul. Yeah. And when he doesn't get it, it looks embarrassing because there was a couple of times they dashed him down. He's all appealing. They're breaking on us, and he's on the floor. Like
there was at least 5 times, I think, or 6 times where like he tried to get the foul, didn't work, and had to get back up. And it's by the time he's got up, Bournemouth on the break, and it's just like.
And another thing, I don't know if this was a tactic from Eddie Howe, right? Because when we played Sandro Tonali in the 6, we were working fine. But this alternating business, yeah, is not working. Why is Bruno collecting that ball off Dan Burn there? Yeah, I guarantee if that's Sandro Tonali, he's not losing the ball. He's not losing the ball.
You're absolutely right, and you're bang on the money there, because there was definitely a thing where I don't know what was going on. It almost just like there was panic mode, because it got to a point, because we're trying to get out of the back, I don't know if people just try to take it on themselves, like, oh, I'll do it kind of thing. And I think Bruno just like try to collect the ball, but then look at that point, you got Bruno and Tonali both back deep. And this is what it doesn't help us, because then when you want to go forward and release, Bruno's not up there. So it's difficult to
exactly.
You know, we just didn't. You got to leave the job to certain people sometimes, because there were moments though when Tonali did what he had to do. He would release the ball and get the ball up front, and he would do that. And there was points where you can see there was some sparkle in Tonali at points where.
To be fair, he had that chance in the first half. Sorry, when he volleyed it. He volleyed it. I think the defender blocked it, but that was good. That was good.
That was on target as well.
Yeah. But yeah, listen. And I think there was a moment when Gordon had a go at the back line saying basically stop fighting about and trying to play it at the back. Yeah, enough of this. It's not working, kind of thing. Which he had a point, but he went faultless from one of them goals as well, which we'll get to as well. So yeah. Listen, worst time to concede a goal, yeah? 2-1 on the stroke of half-time. They're going in there confident now, right? So, like I said, half-time comes, and like you said, he's taken off Botman, and he's brought on Fabian Schär, right? Now, a lot of people were surprised because they thought Byrne was having a nightmare, yeah? He was having a mare, pull him off. But no, maybe he thought that there's too many games for Botman, given his recent comeback from injury. Fair enough. Now, what got me is that Fabian Schär gets on the pitch, and the first thing he does is try to play a crossfield ball and gives it straight to the attacker, and they almost score. Right? That's when I knew we ain't getting nothing from this game. If your substitute's coming on and just carrying on fighting around like everyone else on the pitch has been doing, we don't stand a chance, right?
He literally passed it into the center of the pitch. It was just like on a plate, like, oh man,
got life. And the joke thing is, Bournemouth then. That's when they stepped it up and just started slapping us about, yeah? Because they had a goal disallowed. Remember, they had a goal disallowed, and we luckily because Tonali's volley, it's gone out of play before Tonali volleyed it. But that intricate play that we were under pressure. We were under. I think we cleared off the line. The Bravka had to make a great save before they put it in the back of the net. Bruv.
You're talking about that moment where I think it come off the post, or
no, not that one. This was in the melee of the goal disallowed. The Bravka had to make a great save, yeah. And then I think we cleared off the line, whatever. And then they put it in the net.
That's the one where Tonali kicked it off, didn't he? Yeah, it was already off the pitch. Yeah,
right. And then after that is when man done the flick and it's come off the post. Bruv, what are we doing out here? What are we doing that? Big up Tigers locked in, by the way. He says, big up the panel. We need signings, lads. Otherwise, this is going to get sticky still. And we're going to get to that as well, Tigers. So stay tuned. We'll just get through the game, but big up yourself with it. Well, funny enough, Tigers in one of the other WhatsApp groups, and But when he was talking, I was thinking, right, is this Jefferson talking? Because this guy was going in. This guy was going in. Why we got so happy about the 9-game winning streak? I told Luke we played. I think, right, this is Jefferson word for word, man. I thought, okay. Well, big up Tiger, man. Big up Tiger.
Yeah,
but yeah. Up. So after that, we had a couple opportunities, right? Because Gordon had a good volley blocked. Volley block.
Excellent volley.
Had that gone in.
If that had gone in, that would have been contestant for like goal of the month, definitely.
Yeah. But that was unlucky. We were pressing, still not really convincing, and Bournemouth still looked so dangerous on the break, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the worst thing was it the third goal? Yeah, it was the third goal, isn't it? Right? Anthony Gordon. So we win the ball back in our own defensive half, whatever. And I see what Gordon's trying to do, but you're kind of playing it blind, right? You're trying to get the ball quick forward up the pitch, right? But he's tried to play it to the midfield. I can't remember who it was, maybe Bruno or whatever.
Bruno, I think.
But it's a poor pass. It gets intercepted. There's Cliver. Good finish, right? It reminds me of Murphy against Spurs when we beat them 6-1 from there. But the man scored a hat-trick, yeah? The man's come to St. James's Park and popped a hat-trick, yeah? Scored more goals at St. James's Park than his dad did when he played for us, yeah? Bro.
Do you know how much that hurts me, that statistic? It hurts me.
Bro.
And obviously, we are proud fans of his father, obviously. But, you know, I don't know. And it was really hard to swallow that. I was just like, Clivert, no. Because, like, I do like Clivert. He's a good player, right?
He's a good player.
But I do feel like there's a thing of, like, he's a bit lukewarm. And I feel like this guy looking like some Ballon d'Or winner, right? Scoring hat-trick at St. James's like this. It's just like, is the balance of like, are we just that shit today, or this guy just so lucky on his day as well? It's a weird one.
We gifted them the goals. Every goal that he scored, we gifted it to them.
Yeah, it was gifted. It was
gifted.
I mean?
But I mean, credit to him. Listen, 3 goals, you can't complain. Whatever. We've got DBNFC said, yes, D man, I agree about
celebrating like this as well.
Yeah,
I was just like, do you know what? I was just like, fair play, man, fair play.
DBNFC said, yes, D-man, I agree about the poor balls from Burns, Share, and even Gordon for one of the last goals. I think this was down to Bournemouth's man-to-man marking and us refusing to go long to beat the press. Exactly, yeah? Because whether it's a player thing or a management thing, but we saw what their tactic was very early on, right? Especially after they've gone a goal up, right? Just mix it up a little bit. Go long. You've got the pace of Gordon and Murphy on the wing to trouble them. Just try something different.
This is the thing that really, really bothered me, is the fact that they had a midfielder playing right back. Gordon should have been targeting that all day.
Target him.
Gordon would have at that if we did it properly, but we didn't. But also, there's another thing I would like to say, and I know people are using the term of like Newcastle got Newcastled, and there is a thing here of like this team that the manager set up, the way they play, is very similar to us. Formation was slightly different, but it's the same of like high press, high intensity, like quick turnovers, you know.
The physicality, bro. The physicality. We could not deal with their physicality. Yeah.
And one of the things I like to point out here, and people might not know this, right, is when Eddie Howe took time out from football and he was in Spain, he was studying managers, he was studying Conte and stuff like that. He actually spent time studying iroala as well. So around that time, he was actually looking at like the way he structured his teams, the way he goes about football. Because if you do your homework, if you know your bit of homework of where he played in Spain, it's the same like he's doing with Bournemouth. It's the same.
Yeah.
His template is coming into here. And I think there was this thing at the beginning when he first come to Bournemouth, would it be rocky? And it was a bit rocky. But you can see now this guy has got his team oiled up. Like, guys, and it's one of the things that really I have to give credit to is just that no matter who was in their system, in that team, the fact they got a midfielder playing right back, they still executed their plan as intended.
Do you know
it's almost like it's almost like a difference.
You see, when we went to Old Trafford last season in the cup and we had the four fullbacks of it was in defence, whatever. But everyone knew that the way we played, everyone's like a well-oiled machine. We slapped Man United. That's what they've done. That's what Bournemouth done to us. And credit to Bournemouth as well, because you know, they've come to St. James's, no fair, and they've outplayed us. And you have to hold up. We were beaten by the better team. You have to give them the flowers for that. Big up Winnie's locked in as well, and Double D. He said no heel Jefferson. Nah, Jefferson couldn't make it today, but he was sure to make send a few voice notes. I'm sure
we'll get into that in a bit.
There's no surprise. Once we lost the game, he was on to Eddie Howe. Yeah, Eddie's still Eddie out. Yeah, with a passion. Yeah, he ain't letting up. He's not letting up. Yeah, it's like he was waiting for this. Yeah, but it is what it is. But yeah, just to wrap up now, the fourth goal, because Eddie made the changes, right? Obviously, he's brought on Willock, Asula. You know what I mean? Bit too late, in my opinion, which we'll get to. But the fourth goal came from us having a shot cleared off the line. Yeah, we've had it cleared off the line. Now, don't get me wrong, had that gone in, make 3-2, couple moments, we maybe could have scraped a draw, maybe, doubtful, but maybe. But obviously, Trippier's come on now, yeah? So anyone's thinking that Trippier should be starting ahead of Tino, just see that fourth goal, right? Because the amount of time he's let Kirkers come through and little jink in the step over and bang it, well, he should be put down. Trippier should be put down for that, yeah? But again, I think the Bafka should have saved it, but it is what it is. But
Trippier was rusty, man, and it was. But also, there's this thing about because he hauled off Bruno, all of a sudden there was just a massive gap on our midfield.
Yeah,
it was mad. If you look at that fourth goal, it's just like acres of space, acres. Like this guy could have done tee-ups in the middle of the pitch. No one was near him. Yeah, took all the time that he wanted, and he placed it obviously and took his shirt off and all that. And I was just like, fair play, man. But at the same time, there's something really, really bad. But you know when your team's not doing well is when you can see 2 goals in stoppage time. It's like there's no need to look like I can see 2 goals in stoppage because you know, I was really thinking it was just gonna end 2-1 then at that particular point. I was like, yeah, we're losing 2-1 and that's it. But the fact they put the extra 2 goals in, man, it really just it was almost just like, dare I say it, like digging a grave a few more meters deep. Just like we are dead and buried. We ain't getting out of this. And it felt like a really bad loss. And I'm actually thinking now that thinking about our season so far, this is probably going to go down as probably our worst loss, probably worse than West Ham, to be honest. I think West Ham was a shock though because we expected a bit more. But I think the way that we got, to be honest, we got completely outplayed. I'll say it, we got outclassed. We did. I think every Newcastle fan would admit that. Is then give kudos to Bournemouth. They had a game plan, tactics worked out well. They went for it. Also, some key facts as well. Bournemouth didn't make any subs until 82 minutes. So you had this team running like engine on nitro fuel for the whole game because they had no bench. Repeat, they had no bench.
They've got 9 injuries.
Right, they did have bench, right? But you're talking like youngsters. You're talking about players who haven't yet broke their duck yet on the Premier League. This is how wild it is. They were on thin bones, right? But also, I just want to highlight some other things whilst we're just like talking about stuff, right? Because I got some figures here, some stats and stuff. Bruno won 33% of his ground duels. Now, this is like really below par of Bruno's level. Bruno usually hits about 75%. Or an amazing day, he's like 80% and upwards. Hall won 50% of his duels as well. Bruno lost possession 15 times. Right?
There's a surprise.
15 times. And surprise as well, and I couldn't believe this as well, but like Tanai lost possession 17 times.
He started quite badly, but he grew back into the game.
Joe Linton lost possession 18 times. And just to compare a Bournemouth here, we're talking about their midfield. Christie lost possession 11 times and Adam lost possession 4 times, which is that's a massive contrast. And it shows you that it was all about the battle of the midfield. And that's where they won the game, really. Bruno was dribbled past 4 times. Tonali was 0. Joe Linton was 2. Bruno was fouled 7 times. 7 times, right? Tonali was 2. Joe Linton was 2. Tonali accurate passing was 81, Bruno 83, Joe Linton 76. And obviously we got the stat as well that Bournemouth committed 18 fouls against R7, which is ridiculous.
And you think about it, yeah, because a big up BBK Sports locked in as well. But Tiger makes a good comment in here. He said the thing is no one realized this game has messed up our chance of top 4. This game we've now dropped to 6th below and 2 points behind what teams are are 2 points behind us now. It's true because Chelsea are winning 3-1, so they're going to go above us now. So we're going to end up 6th now, right?
They're 3-1. I knew they're going to beat Wolves anyway.
Yeah, we knew they're going to beat. But
Yeah.
listen, all is not lost, but this could prove a costly result. Now, listen, we could, like Win said, it could be worse. We could be Spurs right now. We could be Spurs. We could be Man United. They're in the gutter, right? So it's not.
There is. To be honest, like I don't want to like troll and laugh about it, but like Spurs are some real serious shit right now. It's bad. It's really
bad. They're done, and Ange ain't getting sacked anytime soon. So it's just going to continue. They are absolutely finished. Yeah, and that's for Manchester United. That's another story. Yeah, same as Man United. Man United got 7 losses as well. Yeah, they are garbage, absolute garbage. But let's keep it about us now, because obviously 6th in the table. Before we could play a bit from Jefferson's voice now if you want, but before we do, right? What is your thoughts on the actual end of the run itself? Right? Is it a case of, listen, 9 games is exceptional. We've had some great performances. The run had to end somewhere, or due to the performance, are you actually very, very concerned that this could now be like symptomatic of what's going to come now? Because it's unlikely we're going to go on a 9-game winning run again this season. So, are you worried about this may affect our form moving forward? Because remember, we've got Southampton away, then we've got Fulham at home, then we've got a really tricky run, of which not to mention the Cup semi-final, which isn't over yet. You know, we go to Birmingham in the Cup. So, are we back to scary times, or is it a case of, listen, one off, we will react, we'll go again?
It's a funny thing. Now you list that out, this is definitely going to be a game that's going to come back to haunt us, I think losing this game was so pivotal with what's up and coming. I think looking back over the 9 games, you know, there's a lot of good highs in there. We were scoring goals, man. There's some great goals. There's some great link up. There's a great passage of play that we were doing. And part of me doesn't think that's suddenly going to disappear. I think we have to take game by game. I don't think that the wheels are falling off and like this team's going to plateau. And I think the way I see it, we still got this core team. This is a good thing, right? There's no injuries, right? So I start in 11. So that's something we have to take on forward. I think, you know, Southampton away, Southampton, man, they're still going to, it might be a bit of a tough game, but I think we can come out on top of that still. And I think that might be a game to be like, guys, this is the game you have to like get your confidence back. Like, if we have a stack pad against them, stack it, man. Stack it. Like, don't play nice guy. I think you know, it's one of those things as well where there might be a little bit theory of this, of like, we lost this game. It wasn't a great time to do this right now, but maybe probably good of a wake-up call, because like you said, that semi-final, we've still got something to play for. We still got this semi-final. I'm telling you now, we play like that against Arsenal, bro, we won't hear the last of it. But
bro, if we lose that game, boy,
we're gonna hear the last of it. But I'm still confident in this team. I'm still confident on like what we've got. We've got a great midfield. You know, we've got good assets there. Isak is still a great striker. Fear not. And I know he wasn't serviced that day, and he almost looked like a bit of a shell of himself, because there's not much he could do. Honestly, there's nothing he could do in that game. We didn't get a single, not even an odd chance of a one-on-one with the keeper, and he doesn't
get a sniff.
We didn't get nothing. We didn't get nothing.
That's the disappointing thing. That's a disappointing thing.
It is disappointing, but I feel like at the same time we should be able to get something from the Southampton game. So I think taking one at a time. I think, yes, we lost this game. Yes, it was bad, but I don't think there's any reason to panic right now. Personally, I think this team's still good enough to go forward, in my opinion.
But yes, smash the likes, people. Get the likes coming in. You know, tell a friend about the show. Get the numbers up for that. But yeah, big up Waffle TV show. He said, big up my brothers. Tiger said, this 9-game win ain't gonna mean shit if we don't win the cup or make Europe. And
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Big up Win. He said, Tiger, I think Europe spot is at least we expect with the position that we are in. Listen, this game here, I want to think it's a one-off, innit? Like we have these kind of games under Eddie now and again, right? But let's be honest, we had a 9-game winning run, which hasn't been done by any other team in the league. We come up against a very good team who haven't lost in 9 previous before they faced us. with a good manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
The scoreline was unexpected. The result, maybe not so much, but, disappointing none the same. We've got Southampton next week, which is arguably the best game that we could have, right? Given who they are, the form they're in, and the fact that we're a lot better than them, right? So if we get back on the saddle, then we can start thinking about maybe this could be a one-off. Look forward to Fulham. However, if we lose or drop points to Southampton, all hell's breaking loose. All hell. I tell you, if we do that, we ain't beating Arsenal in the cup. I'll tell you that for free. We will not beat Arsenal in the cup because morale will be so low. Fatigue will be a real thing. Yeah. Because remember, we've got a week. We've got a week to prepare now. And this might be a game for Eddie to freshen up the team. Bring Willock to start, Give, I don't know, Harvey Barnes injured, but bring back Share, right? Maybe Trippier, I don't know. Yeah? Maybe even Target, I don't know. But one or two, maybe not Target, but
we don't have options.
But bring them in because this is the game we should be winning comfortably, right? If we don't, then there's a problem. But again, that's the best game that we could.
I guess I'm trying my best to because I know we had an early point in the season where a lot of us were hitting the panic button. We were like, "This is getting really, really thin ice," and it was thin ice. Yeah. And I think by the luck of it, he was able to get off that ice. I agree with you. If we lose to Southampton or it doesn't come out a result as we expect it should do, then questions might start getting answered quite quickly.
All right, can you imagine Jefferson? Can you imagine Jefferson if we lose to Southampton, bro? He'll be up at St. James Park choking Eddie, bro. He'll choke him out. He's not having a bar with it. Do you want to play his voice note if you got it? Have you got his voice note?
Let's get into it. We got some voice notes from Jefferson, who's obviously not available on today's show, but we're going to go here with his thoughts from the Bournemouth game.
Yo, what up, peeps? D-Man, AC. Sorry I can't be there tonight. I wish I could, but I really hope that the pod goes well. Just want to obviously wish greetings to all our listeners, all our followers, and those watching on this episode today. Obviously, not sure whether this show is going to be a post-mortem of sorts. Maybe should be, considering the performance, because we got absolutely destroyed in many, many different ways, and it was not nice viewing. And could it be a potential thing where the team has kind of taken 2-3 steps forward and maybe 4 or 5 back? I don't know. But it didn't have a good feel to it. And I think it still exposed some shortcomings that we do have. That's depth of the squad. That's, in certain key positions. Obviously, the things that have gone well, the likes of Murphy linking up with Isak, if that doesn't work, what's the plan B? So I still feel in certain instances we've plugged gaps, but is it papering over cracks? Has Eddie actually solved a lot of these riddles that we still have, some of the rigors that we have to negotiate? Because truth be told, I had warned about it that, in the run we had, it was almost paper champion-esque in terms of, there's some credible wins in there, potentially, obviously we know Arsenal away in the cup, Spurs, more so in the style it was done, but again, question marks around, those 13 players that are missing. So I'd always highlighted within that run that there were some frailties in there. And I think against the Bournemouth team that actually had their own injuries, I think they had, 4 or 5 youth players on the bench. We got destroyed. And I think iroala showed that he's a step up in class. Now, I think the easy cop-out will be, number one, the players are tired. Fine. You could argue the players were a bit tired. Yeah. Number two will be on the basis that, Eddie hasn't been backed in previous windows. We just got to get on with it in terms of what we got now at the end of the day. He made the subs didn't work. And for me, the thing that's short is just that tactical acumen. We've seen it in short little spurts, but it felt like he wasn't able to react fully to what Iraola was doing. You know, I think one of the easiest things that could have been done was very simply bringing on Asula earlier and going direct, because they were very combative in the midfield with Christie and Adams, and we wasn't really getting the rub of the green with the referee. I think Christie should have had multiple yellows, Adams as well. So even practically, we could have found another option to go direct. But listen, I could unpick, the poor result and performance that we had at the weekend. What I would be adamant in saying is, please do not dismiss this. Please do not brush this off. And actually look at the fact that, the first time we've come up against a decent side, real decent side, a decent manager, with not as many variables, we've come unstuck. And I think a 2-1 loss is acceptable, but a 4-1 loss, I'm not quite sure about. But let me leave it there. Onwards and upwards, lads, and good luck. Peace. Yo, what up, Pete?
So yeah, that was Jefferson giving his thought. I don't know what you thought in the chat. Did you agree with what he was saying? Obviously, he's not Eddie Howe's number one fan, but he made some valid points there. Listen, I hear what he's saying. I think time will tell whether we should have. I say, listen, we're not going to get rid of Eddie Howe now, innit? We're just going to have to, back him, see what he does, and come in the season we can make a proper assessment, and also see what this actual defeat does for us in terms of the season. Because top four, to me, arguably we can say we have a top 4 first 11, but we don't have a top 4 squad, right? So in terms of squad, I say top 6 at best, right? So me personally, my thing is, as long as he gets better than last season, which was 7th, so if he gets 6th this season, fair enough, right? But I get it. We're in a semi-final of a cup in a good position. We should be making a final. All is not lost, right? But I do agree that the fact that he got his tactics wrong yesterday, he was very slow to react, and that's one criticism of him. He's a very reactive manager, right? He never really takes initiative, spots danger, and says, right, what could we do? He waits until too late. The like subs. You could argue, who could he bring on? But it's the fact that he brings them on either at a predictable time or too late. Yeah, and especially in this game, it was too late. And the tactics, you could see what Bournemouth was doing from early on, and he didn't react to it. So in that respect, I would say, yeah. But remember, this is a guy who's tactically out for Emery, Ange, Amarim. These kind of managers there along this nine-game win streak. We've also dreamed with Liverpool. Arguably should have beat them. We beaten Arsenal once in the league and once in the cup. He's done Arteta, who I know Jefferson rates higher than Howe, but his record against is Howe is 4 wins, 4 draws, or 4 losses. So I mean, he hasn't got the better of Eddie Howe yet. So in that respect, you have to give him a little bit of credit. Don't get me wrong, he isn't faultless, but again, we also have to. I'm not saying we have to think about history, but until the season's finished, remember, he saved from relegation, got us 4th place, all right, got us 7th. Let's see what he does this season. Then we can really judge. I know he's not the best, but are we in a position right now when we can get the best? Because remember, we can't spend. We're hampered by PSR, right? So in that respect, it doesn't look like we're going to spend this window. Is he doing that much of a bad job? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But listen, I was Eddie out. I was a staunch Eddie out fan and supporter at the beginning of the season when things were really rocky. But when you go on a 9-game winning streak and scoring the amount of goals we did and conceding the amount of goals we did, I don't think you can really. He has to go now. I'm not saying he can't go at the end of the season, but right now it would be ludicrous to get rid of him. But,
yeah. I think it's all about balance, isn't it? Because it's just one loss after the 9. We have to remember that it's just one loss. It'd be very different if, like, 4 games later, we've lost all of them since that. Then you can really put the pressure cooker on and say, like, what is going on? But I feel like it just could have been a blip. But we had some good performances, and then it was really good satisfaction for us to win at Man United. Like, I really wanted that. Me being the biggest, like, man who personally just dislikes Man United forever, right? I took that to, and I said to you guys, in it, this win for me, I'm taking it, I'm holding it. And I said to you, it's one of the things, in it. It's quite funny how like this league, this season, man, things change rapidly.
Yeah.
It just changes. Because like even now, we're probably seeing like Man City now having a bit of like momentum all of a sudden, right? But it just changes, you know. So I feel like every single team probably in this league so far has this moment of like dip and then bounce back again and then possibly dip again. It's just a really competitive league. And I did say that this is a season where anybody beats anybody as well. There is no like, no matter how much you want to look down play on certain teams, nah. This season is hard as nails. It is really hard. And to be honest, it's such a hard season. And the fact that we did 9 wins in a row, got to applaud it, man. I'm still with that. Like, that was fantastic, man. I enjoyed it. It was a highlight. And we'll look back at this and be like, man, remember that 9-game run we had? And, you know, it'll be talked about for the future to come, no doubt.
It will be. Tiger said, listen, I was like D-man, how up, but I'm giving till the end of the season. He's got to win the cup or get Champions League. If not, sorry, jog on. Which is fair point. And speaking of the Champions League, if you're looking at the table now, this is where it gets a bit sticky because obviously we know Liverpool clear with 50 points, Arsenal 44 with Forest as well. But then you've got Chelsea on 40, Man City the same points as 38, but a better goal difference. Bournemouth are 1 point behind us. Villa are 2 points behind us. All right, Brighton, all right, 4 points behind us, but you can still maybe put them in the conversation. But
they could catch up, yeah.
We are in danger of finishing 8th. Like, we have to beat Southampton. We have to beat Southampton and we have to beat Fulham, right? Because we don't, because the next fixtures we've got, I think we've got Liverpool, Man City, and maybe we've got the cup against Arsenal. We've got some, and Villa, I think we've got some hard phases, hard fixtures. So don't get me wrong. The good thing is Bournemouth play Forest next, so one of them will drop points, if not both. May help us, but we have to beat Southampton. We have to. Yeah, we have to beat Southampton, which I think we will.
I think we will. I think we will. I think Southampton are a really poor side. They're trying their best, and don't get me wrong. I think their result this weekend, they were doing a bit of a comeback on somebody. I can't remember who they faced.
They played Forest yesterday, and they were 3-0 down. Remember, but also before that, they played Manchester. Yeah, but they played Man United off the park for 45 minutes. If it was for the Onana double save, bro, they would have been outside. So they are playing ball. So we cannot take them lightly. As trash as they are, we cannot take them lightly. Yeah, because God forbid we even draw with that team, right? But big up Adrian, he's locked in. He said, if Howard gets us through the semi, sack him and bring in Mourinho to the end of the season, and then sack him and bring Iriola. Bro, you're taking liberties, bro. What do you think this is? The FPL with the manager picks now, isn't it? You can pick the managers on that. No, you're joking, bro. But
yeah, I think because we do have this cup, and despite what people may think about this cup, it's a cup to win. End of the day, we are in a very good position. It's a cup to win, and that could change everything. Because you could win the cup, and all of a sudden there is a massive momentum behind us. There was the feeling of winners behind us, and you know it could do a lot for the rest of our season going through. There's still FA Cup, and I know FA Cup's quite a big distance thing.
I'm not even counting FA Cup because until you get to a semi, there's no point in talking about it. But I did say when we beat Arsenal, and everyone would say, "Yeah, we're through." I said, "Listen, a month is a long time in football. Yeah, form can change. Luckily, Arsenal haven't clicked yet, so I'm still confident we could do it. But, bruv, again, if we don't beat Southampton, if we don't beat Fulham, we're going to be nervous going into that game against Arsenal, you know. Yeah, the nerves are going to be jangling. But listen, we'll see.
We can do it.
We can do it. But Tiger said, I see Tiger said, what phase are Forest in, right? Which is a good point because you see Forest. Forest arguably did the smart thing, you know. They took the hit, they boiled off PSR, took a points hit, right? Bought better players, yeah. And then thought, this season we're gonna go for it. Bro, they're gonna finish in the top 4. Forest will finish in the top 4. I'm telling you.
Yeah, everyone's saying they're gonna drop off, but I don't see them dropping off, you know.
Bro, unless they get injuries to like the Wood or the Langers, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White, and the left back Aina, whatever you call it, bruv, they'll be all right, you know. Remember, they're missing 2 of their key midfielders already, and they're still flying. They're still flying. But Forest have got a squad. We ain't. Yeah, we haven't. Our first 11. I remember we buoyed them off at their place, but I expect us to beat them at St James's Park. But they have a squad and they have confidence.
I think we got to be careful with them coming to our ground. It's almost like Bournemouth game part 2, maybe, because I know everyone wants to look down at Forest like as if like they're going to drop.
No. But it's the way Forest play. I think we can stifle them. I think we can stifle them. And we have a good record against Forest. Forget the one that happened last season. We have a very good record against Forest, isn't it? Like, we will do it. We will do it. Well, depending on form we're in at the time.
And also, we have to just like, if we focus on our starting 11, it's still a very good starting 11. I know we can highlight about the right wing, and I know we need a new player coming in. And I know if I had my wishes, I want someone to come through this month. But I don't know what's going to happen there. And we could talk about that a little bit, isn't it? Because I think it's looking like quite confirmed that Miggy is going.
I've been praying for days like this, bruv. I've been praying for days like this. Listen, I know you had the purple patch. He had his purple patch, but he's garbage. Yeah, he's garbage, right? So he needs to leave. If we can get 10 million for him, yeah, he'll still be smiling on the way out. But listen, thank you for your service, but it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Right?
And what do you think about Lloyd Kelly?
I could say that's the interesting one. Me personally, if we could get a decent, I mean, we're asking for 30 million. We ain't getting 30 million for him. Let's be honest, we're not. But if we could get anything between 20 and 25, thank you and good night. Yeah.
If we get 25 for it, we should bite the arm off and just take it. And
however,
go on.
We have to replace. We have to get someone in. We have to get a player. If we get a right winger in, I know we're looking at the Celtic right winger, I think it is, but we have to get somebody in, because if we don't, that squad is light. The squad is light. Yeah. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, we're in a really tricky situation because I'm almost just don't. It's really weird. It's been so long since we brought someone. It feels like forever. It feels
anyone's
like
serious because we bought Asula, but you can't a first team, or someone to really challenge the first team. I get you.
Because I don't. Yeah, Asula was that, but you're right. He's almost just like a trainee at the squad, and I'm not counting Lloyd Kelly because he was free, and it wasn't. I don't know. Once again, he was just brought in for like squad rotation, more or less.
Remember, if we got Kelly and Tolson at the same time, remember we went to Chelsea, then it would have looked a lot better. But from you just got Lloyd Kelly and no one else, brother, it's a shambles. But I see Tiger said we talk about signings, but Howe says we can't buy before selling, but he don't want to sell. Make it make sense. And this is where Mitchell has to be stern. The board has to be stern. Say, listen, these players are going to generate money, right? These are the players that we have, and I'll look to want to come. Pick one and shut up. Yeah, pick one, and we'll go get him. None of this. I want to keep the band together. Tight knit squad. Blah blah. No. We need additions. Quality additions.
Honestly, I think not selling Dubravka was a bad mistake. I think we're going to pay for that. I think we should just sold him. I don't know. We can look at the trajectory. We were doing so well, etc. But should have just sold him. There was an opportunity. Literally, money on the table was there. Literally, he was waving goodbye to the fans, crying because he was emotional, saying, "This is my last game." We were that close to him being sold, and then we said, "No, you're not getting on the plane."
We got Ruddy still in the ranks, isn't it? We've got old Ruddy, in it. Security guard Ruddy. Yeah?
Oh my gosh! Don't bring him up.
I forgot to tell you. You see, it's about Oddy, right? When I went to the Spurs game, right, and the keepers come up first, they do the warm up, whatever, right? Ruben said to me, my son said to me, he said, "Daddy, why can't the keeper save any shots?" I look, it's Oddy, bro. He was hapless. You know when they warm up and they take shots at him, whatever. But he wasn't saving any of them. He took about 10 shots before we actually saved one. I thought, there's no way this brother can be a goal for us. On a warm up, nah, he's not serious. He's not serious.
Forest bumped us, man. Forest bumped us badly.
Bro,
they got Anderson right now,
who scored his first league goal, by the way. So big up to Anderson, but he's bored.
Big up to Anderson, yeah.
But again, I'm not mad at that sell because I don't think he gets into our midfield. He doesn't, yeah. And we had Miley coming back as well. I don't see, but
you got to read Tiger's comment out. Tiger Studio says, "Brother was crying because he knew he wasn't leaving." The Bravka knew he wasn't leaving. That's why
we held him hostage.
the 2 years.
Free the Bravka. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine? That's why he
sold
made
him,
the 4
man.
goals at the weekend.
Sold him because it goes back, just to wheel it back one more time, it goes back to the whole thing with Paul Mitchell saying that it's just like our transfer policy is not fit for purpose. And that's what it is, because there's no conveyor belt of just like quick turnaround sometimes. That's why I feel like the Kelly thing, we should just do it. And I know we're gonna thin on ice. I know we have to bring more players in, but like,
Bruv,
we can't move on if you don't sell at all. So
have you seen what Win said in the comments? He said, D-man, one player we should have had was Mama Dashvili. We let that one slip. Win, if you go back to our previous pods, how we were screaming for this brother.
And the Euros.
Yeah. Oh my God. Every time he played, we're like, right, we need to sign him. Yeah. Good. It's a good fee for him. Get him in. Yeah. But we knew that Eddie was not going to budge on Nick Pope. We knew it. We knew. And then we signed Oddy and Ruddy. Right. We're a banter club. When it comes to transfers,
to be honest, the summer would have been perfect to sell Pope. He would have got sold. And I'm quite convinced he might have went back to Ipswich.
You know what I mean?
So and look at the season. They probably could have done with Pope this season, Ipswich. You know?
This is where Eddie needs to answer for his crimes, because he has hindered in terms of transfers and in beefing Mitchell. Well, he's stunted our progression in that respect. So because obviously looking back at it now, all of that fixation of Gahey, it's haunting us, man. But this is it. We were going to pay big money for Gahey, but we can't sign a player now. Make it make sense. And we're going to sell. We're going to raise funds as well. So what are we doing? What are we actually doing? We just have to. The thing is, it's going to be really hard to finish the Champions League now. It's going to be really hard, but it can still be done. But we're talking that you're almost like relying on other form now. We're relying on Forest to drop out completely, and we're then hoping for 2 vacancy spaces. Probably like Man City might take one. I think they will, to be honest. Because they're too good to not be in the top 4. And they're buying players as well. They bought a couple of players to regenerate the squad and that. Yeah. They mean business. Yeah.
And they got, Haaland's on like $500,000 a week. It's just like, wow. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like there's one spot up for grabs, and I just can't. It's going to be really hard, really, really hard. And the best we kind of got to aim for. But to be honest, there's a situation where 5th place could get you Champions League, so potentially 2 spots. But
but you know what's going to happen. The same way 7th could have got us Europa Conference League last season, and Man United won the FA Cup. I tell you, Spurs or Man United, whoever it is, are going to win the Europa League, and we're going to knock us out the frigging 5th spot place. Just our luck. Yeah. So we need to guarantee 4th. But that's so. Chelsea are going to pick up form now. Forest ain't dropping out of there. It's going to be Man City, bro. 6th, I'm telling you, 6th. But then we lose our stars.
We got to win this Carabao Cup, man, to make our season almost like
to save our season.
Because at the end of the day, if we finish 6th and win the Carabao Cup, I think we'll just take it. We'll just be like, you know what, we won that cup, and we got that monkey off our back of not winning the cup, and everyone will be happy for it. Everyone will be emotional. Grown men will be crying and shit because it'll be, a very landmark still. But it does make me nervous though, because I don't want to go ahead about finishing 6th, because it does worry me about certain players in our squad.
I'm telling you, we're going to lose them. But look at big up Didier Clark. He said, if we pick up good results during February, I think we can easily get Europe next year. Good point. I'm looking at our February fixtures. Fulham at home, Man City away, Forest at home, and Liverpool away. Yeah? So, for the chat, including you did this, how many points we're going to get from Fulham, Man City, Forest, and Liverpool? Realistically, do you think we'll get? I think maximum 7. Maximum.
And break it down for me. Where do you see the results coming through?
Beat Fulham, 3 points. I think a point away to Man City.
That's what I think as well, yeah.
Beat Forest and lose to Liverpool. Yeah? That's what I think.
I can't argue with that, actually. I think that's quite a good analysis going forward, because we do tend to play really well at Man City. We do, and I think, yeah, they've been a bit of form in, but they're not that back kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I feel like I think the players will step up for that game. Forest at home, we can do it, but oh man, the Forest game at home is just like the Bournemouth one. I felt that we could do that, and I don't know, man. Liverpool away scares the crap out of me a bit, but at the same time, if this was a season to end errors, then please, please end that Anfield era for me, please.
Well, we've been to Old Trafford. We've won at the Emirates in the Cup, so you know what I mean. This could be the time to do it, the season to do it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
oh, just want to highlight something. Win here, who says that Forest have Bournemouth next and can see Forest beat.
Yeah, I said that earlier. Forest have Bournemouth, but I think that's a draw. I think that I hope that's a draw, so they both drop points. Yeah.
Who's at home for that fixture then?
Bournemouth at home.
Nah, man. Bournemouth are going to win that, I think.
Yeah.
If Bournemouth at home, I think Bournemouth will win it.
I think that's a draw.
Man, that small pitch isolation, boy. That pitch is killing people, man.
I see Didier said, I think we beat City away. Our away performance have been spot on. Maybe not Liverpool, but we can easily get a result. I don't know. You think about it, because the Man City one is after the Birmingham game. It's after the Arsenal game and after the Birmingham game, we play Man City, right? So that's a week's rest. Fair enough. Okay. Maybe 10 days rest, because I think we'll rotate against Birmingham. Okay. Forest. And then Liverpool 4 days later. It's tough. You never know. You never know. And again, this Bournemouth game result could be a one-off, and we could get back against Southampton and beat Fulham, which I think we will, but not going to be easy. But
there is this thing of like kind of wishing it on Forest, but there is a situation where Forest are expected to have a dipping point. It could be February for them, because they yet to have a dipping point. It was just like crazy. Every time I check the scores, man, and like 20 minutes into their game, they're like 2-0 up. I'm like, damn, man. I mean, just check the scores.
But I tell you, they're doing what we did 2 seasons ago. Yeah. And people opposition are not taking them seriously. Yeah. They're sitting back and they're bombing. They can hit you on the break. And once they go ahead, they're very hard to break down. Yeah. Again, we were the best team that they've said that they faced the season at their ground. Yeah. Because they went 1-0 and we smoked them. But again, that was a one-off. Let's hope this against Bournemouth is our one-off, yeah, and we can go again. Because, listen, like Tiger said, we ain't a serious club yet, lads. If we win the cup, then lose Isak in the summer, I will be angry. You and me both, man. You and me both. Yeah, we can't afford to lose Isak, but we know what we need to do to keep him.
Yeah. I think honestly, if we lose Isak, man, it will honestly feel like we're going back to square one again. With the whole project. I think it will take a lot to replace him. It won't feel sick to my stomach, and also knowing that what he's done this season and various things. But there is this thing of like there's still a lot to play for, and I think we got to not get too far ahead of ourselves.
It's true. Because a loss had to come sometime, didn't it? It had to come sometime. Yeah. Obviously, the nature of it disappointing. But
I would rather have the reality check now with Bournemouth, not the reality check in our semi-final against Arsenal.
Or Southampton. You know
what I mean? So let's have it now. Let's group that together, because I do believe, as you saw that 9-game run, there were some games where we were like invincible, man. We were invincible.
We were balling. And
I do wonder, there is a little bit of like, let's face it, in this last week or so, or in 2 weeks, Newcastle was just on front page all the time, talking about our team, talking about our players, talking about our club, talking about like Eddie Howe, talking about the 9 games win, talking about Tonali, talking about how good Bruno is, talking about how Isak's breaking records, talking about how good Lewis Hall is, talking about Dino, talking about how good like Botman came back. There was so much focus on our team. I do wonder if it's like too much pressure on the team as well. Yeah. Because pressure is a real thing, even though you might feel like they should be able to handle it. It's just like there is some pressure in it as well, because it just felt like there was a lot on. And I don't know. I don't want to use the word fatigue because I know that word's flying around, and part of me doesn't want to say it or believe it as such because, you know, Bournemouth were a team as well that had their own problems and, you know, and still turn up. So there's an element of like a team can have you can still turn up, man.
Yeah.
Or you can still wake up and get your shit together as well at the same time. But yeah.
So let's see where we go from there, man. It's going to be an interesting next few games. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you all for joining with your comments. Hope you enjoyed the pod. Again, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, man, we're going to be back to review the next game, the Southampton game. I think both myself and AC are going to be down there. I'm waiting for my ticket, but yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm going to be there, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there. We're going to link up. We can link up, man. Be merry, and then hopefully be merry afterwards as well.
That's it. So yeah, look forward to the next pod. But yeah, big up, guys. Until then, we're out. Peace.
Salute, people. In a bit.